Hello and welcome to episode 53 of the Knit Run Dig podcast. I've entitled this episode Reboot because that's what it feels like. I haven't podcasted for about 5 months, so thanks anyone who's coming back and welcome to any new viewers. Thanks for giving me a try. It's been a busy few months. I've done 2 shows. I did iKnit Fandango and the Edinburgh Yarn Festival. Edinburgh Yarn Festival was amazing. It was busy. Lots of interesting vendors covering spinning, knitting, weaving, crochet and accessories, for example. I met lots of great people. And then iKnit Fandango in London, which wasn't anywhere nearly as busy, but I met some lovely, lovely people and bought some fantastic products, none of which I can find at the moment. So the shiny new things will be quite small this time, but I will have lots to show you in the future, as usual. This week I'm not going to have my section on digging, archaeology or history because otherwise I would have used it as a reason to procrastinate and let another week pass by without anything. I have written notes about something, but right now I can't really, everything's in disarray and I'm finding it difficult to find stuff. I have found my knitting, which is great, and I found some fibre so I can do some spinning, so all is well as far as that's concerned. So I have just going to put my house a bit out of practice, of course. Kind of feels like I'm new again. So I've done 2 shows, which I mentioned, and I also went to the Sock Bunny retreat in Florida in February. That was fantastic. A great group of people, some amazing prizes, and great vendors. It was Daisy Knits and Rainstorm Studios, and bought some lovely bags, of course, and some great fibre and yarn from Daisy Knits, about which more later. So talking about retreats, the Geeky Puffin Knitpalooza, which I'm organising along with Cece and Damaris of the Geeky Girls Knit podcast, is on the 29th of October to the 1st of November, and there are still places available. We've got a fantastic knit along going along and some great events organised. There'll be a yarn crawl. We're going to have a lay-a-thon, try-a-thon event where we have a chance to show and tell and fondle other people's knitting and have a go on some tools that you may not have tried before. Plus lots of other things, and we have some amazing sponsors. So thank you everyone, and some amazing vendors as well, and I'll be talking more about those in upcoming weeks as well. And I do actually have a prize drawing to make, which is for Win a Custom Bag. I closed the thread a while ago. There were 24 entries and I have just drawn the prize. I will show you on my phone. So there were 25 posts, so the first one was mine, so the winners are from 2 to 25, and the winner is number 8, who is Alison J. So congratulations, Alison. If you get in touch with me, I will make you a custom bag to your requirements, which will be huge fun. I love making custom orders. And I also have a new prize to give away, which was donated by the very generous and lovely Jen from Daisy Knits. And it's this beautiful skein of dewy sock, which is 70% merino, 20% nylon, 5% stellina, and 438 yards, which is 400 metres ish, maybe a bit less. Lovely, beautiful purpley and brown with gold sparkle, and it's very soft. So to win this, I will open up the thread once I've posted this podcast. I'll open up a thread on Ravelry in the Knit Run Dig group, and the prize will be for group members only, so if you're not a member, please come along and join. And if you go to her shop, which is Daisy Knits, DAIZE.etsy.com, and if you could tell me what is your favourite yarn that she has up in the shop at the moment, either base or colour or both, and I'll draw the prize next week. So that's the first prize. I have other prizes to give away, and so thank you very much to Jen for donating this beautiful skein of yarn. So that's most of the sort of admin type stuff over, and let's get on with what I've been knitting now. I'm sure I may have finished one or two more objects that I can remember, but I'm not sure. Like many people, I have got stash dash fever, so I have been actually busily knitting away on things just over the past few weeks. So I've got two finished objects to show you, the first of which is a cardigan. Yay! So that's about 900 metres, there or thereabouts, of yarn to add to the stash dash total. And this is the Aislinn, A-I-S-L-I-N-N, by Amy Herzog. And I bought the custom fit program. So what you do is you buy a pattern which gives you a recipe that you then enter onto the website, which then, along with your measurements, and then generates the pattern tailored specifically to you. It's knit in pieces and then seamed together, and I really enjoyed the seaming. I used mattress stitch, and I used the plastic looking stitch markers every inch or so to make sure everything was lined up, especially at the key points like under the underarms and the ends of the sleeves and the ribbing at the bottom. Now I have made a few deliberate, not really deliberate, but typical mistakes in it, so I will go through those with you. I have to say, I found it a little, this is only about the third cardigan I've knitted, my favourite one so far. I'm very pleased with it. I have, but because I'm not a particularly experienced garment knitter, I found there were some things I found a bit confusing. I did work through them. Partially it's also because of the way my brain works or doesn't work. And let's see what else. But aside from that, I did make some very glaring errors. So the first of which is, if I show you the back, it's supposed to have a purl ridge all the way around, so on the fronts and the sleeves, and I didn't do it. But there we go. At least I did it on, I could have done it just on one sleeve and not the other, you know, so kind of as mistakes goes, that's not too bad. But the other one, which I have to say is a typical me mistake, is, I don't know even if you can notice it, I've asked several people, so that's the lace pattern on one side, and that's the lace on the other side, and I have more of the stocking stitch on this side than on that side, so it doesn't match. But actually I don't mind, so I decided when I discovered it, I thought, well, I could rip back and undo my sewing and rip back, but I decided not to. As I said, I found the pattern a little bit confusing because with a custom fit you buy a recipe and then you put your things up, so you have two patterns essentially to work from. You have the recipe that gives you special instructions related to that cardigan, and then the custom fit program gives you the bits that you knit to your measurements, so like you knit a certain amount and then you start decreasing, so you have to mix that together, so it's kind of like lots of knitting at the same time. As I said, I did manage it and it does fit, so that did work. In fact I enjoyed it so much I immediately purchased another custom fit pattern, which is Mine Hill by Amy Herzog, and that's one that's actually in custom fit, so all of the patterns been printed out at once, so I'm looking forward to trying that. So I knitted this out of Debbie Bliss Blueface, I don't know where the hill came from, Debbie Bliss Blueface Leicester DK, British Blueface Leicester, in the Sage colourway, and I will put it on for you. It's a hot day, but there we go. So it's got 3/4 length sleeves, and the pattern is actually supposed to have a tie at the waist, but I knitted one on and I really didn't like the way it looked. So yes, I'm very pleased with it. I will wear it, not right now. So the yarn is a bit scratchy, so I'm going to wash it again. Hopefully that will help. It's super wash as well, so it'll go in the machine. And so this is Aislinn. The next finished object I have is a pair of socks, which I started in February at the Sock Bunny retreat, and I can't find my sock blockers. but yes, I wore them. These are the Groovy socks, and I'm sorry, I can't remember who they're by. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. I'll link to it in the show notes. So I'll just show you what the foot looks like a bit better. Very, very easy to memorise, a 2-row repeat on the pattern, and this fantastic yarn, which is really soft as well, but it's merino and nylon, so it should wear very well. And the colourway is Silver Lining by Purple Goddess Designs, and she's on Etsy as well. So that's my 2 finished knitting objects to show you. I have some finished spinning, which I'll show you in the spinning section. So now on to what I've been working on. So last week I cast on the Pebble Beach shawl by Helen Stewart of the Curious Handmade podcast, which you should definitely listen to. It's absolutely fascinating, and she's so lovely. And she recently re-released the Pebble Beach shawl in 3 sizes, and I decided to knit the largest size, excuse me. So I've done about 25% of this pattern. And sorry, that's my mum texting me. It's on 4mm needles, which is actually what I also knitted the Ashlyn on. 4mm needles, and this yarn, which is so beautiful. It's a bit greener than it's coming up there, is the Robin's Egg colourway from Daisy Knits again, and it is in her dewy lace weight. So that's a merino, silk and stellina mix, 875 yards, and I chose to knit the largest size so I could use up as much of this delightful yarn as possible. So that's the Pebble Beach shawl by Helen Stewart, and it's in a bag I also got at the Sock Bunny retreat by Christine from Rainstorm Studios, and I love the way it's see-through, and you can see it, and it's got sparkly fabric on the inside, and you can see how well it holds the yarn for this shawl. So it's a great size bag, highly recommended. So that's Rainstorm Studios, also on Etsy. And I'm also knitting a pair of socks, another pair of socks. I'm always knitting socks, and this is the 3rd time I've tried to knit a pair of socks. The first time I tried with this yarn, the first time I tried Hermione's Everyday Socks, and I didn't feel it worked very well with the stitch pattern. And then I knit the Katniss socks, which is a free pattern by Rose Yver, and I really enjoyed it, but then I realised I made a huge error when picking up stitch of the heel, and I thought, right, I'm going to do something else. So I've just started, and it's wearing up, this yarn is wearing up very well to the abuse I've given it, you know, having 3 different times I started. So I can say I've just started the cuff, and this is going to be the Ripple Leaf Socks by Cookie A from the 2011 Cookie A Sock Club, of which I was a member. It's a nice pattern. It's got lace on every row, but I'm really enjoying doing it. So that's the Ripple Leaf Socks by Cookie A. Sorry, forgotten. 2.5mm US size 1.5 needles. And the yarn is the Knitting Goddess Merino Nylon Sock in the Forks colourway. And then my other pair of socks, which are what I take to knitting group, and my sort of plain knitting socks, I've nearly finished the first one. So this is the Tree Frog Self-Striping from laughingyaffle.com. She's based, I think, near Bristol in the UK. She does updates once every month, and the self-striping sells out really quickly, so go for it if you see any. I mean, just look at those amazing colours, and it's also really soft, lovely and soft, and a delight to work with. So it's a plain vanilla sock, toe up, and I did the OMG heel from the Blurred Line Socks by Megan Williams. I find it a really good fit, and it's great to knit it. I didn't bother to break the yarn because I want to use up as much as possible for these socks. That's why they're a bit taller than my normal socks. and that's on 2.5mm needles. And this is in a bag. It's called a bento bag by Redshank, I think, Designs. I don't, which was a gift from CC Allman, who came to visit me for the I Knit Fandango show. And it's a very simple sort of bag that you can just knit and hang it over your wrist, and then you can just clip it. It's got a popper on it as well, a snap. So very versatile and useful for knitting whilst walking around, or to take along with you. So that's how I've been using it. So that's my third work in progress. And then my fourth one is another cardigan, which I started almost 2 years ago. As I said, I've got Stash Dash Fever. Oh, I've got some bits in there as well. Don't fall over. This is the ochre cardigan. By Vera Valimaki. So it's an unstructured top-down raglan seamless cardigan. And I stopped because I don't know why. Well, it's in 4-ply fingering weight, so it's a slow progress, but I love the yarn. It's Skiddaw in Robin by Namu Yarns. They're not dying anymore, unfortunately. It's a lovely tweedy yarn. And I'm really looking forward to the finished object. It's something I think I'll wear a lot. It's lighter weight than the green DK cardigan, so it will have more year-round wearing, I think. So that's it. I'm still working on the raglan increase. It's got a while to go before I decrease for the sleeves, but it's a very satisfying knit. And that's also on, I don't think it's 4mm needles, I'm not sure. No, it can't be. I'm not sure what colour, what size needles this is on. I will have to look it up and see what it says in the pattern. Okay. Yes, apparently it is 4mm, but they don't look like 4mm needles to me. Maybe they are. Have a look at the other one. No, they're not. I think they're 3.5. So, there we go. I will look that up and put it in the show notes. So that's all of my knitting works in progress. Now onto the spinning. So I have a spinning finished object. Sorry, I should have put this in front rather than behind the camera. It's again Daisy Knits. I couldn't find my large bobbin, so I had to spin it in small bits, and that's the leftover. So I made that into singles, and then I've got 3 skeins of 2-ply. I spun it very inconsistently because I just wanted, I felt playful when I was spinning it, so I tried slightly different things. But again, this is greener than it comes up. It's beautiful sea green colourway, BFL nylon with no name, but it was a joy to spin. It span fantastically. So that's again Daisy Knits, and this is BFL nylon fibre. And I'm currently spinning. I finished the spinning, it's ready to ply tomorrow. This is a blended top from Spin City UK that I got at I Knit Fandango. I split the fibre, because it was blended, I sort of just split it, not with any intent, just as I felt like it. So it's going to come up sort of as a completely crazy yarn. But I'm really happy with it. There's a little bit of sparkle in it, lots of different colours. I'm not sure what the fibre content was, but it will be fun to knit with it. I think it will make a nice cowl, or to add a little bit of sparkle to a winter's day, or possibly a hat. So that's Spin City UK, a blended top, and she is also on Etsy. So that's all of the knitting and spinning I can bring to hand at the moment. I've got a little bit of enabling to show you, so shiny new things, which again is Daisy Knits, because that's what I can find. As I said, it's not the only thing, but it's the only thing I can find right now. So the first thing I've got is the Dewy DK So that's Merino Silk and Stellina again, 231 yards. And this is the Cool Box colourway. Now, isn't that gorgeous? The sparkle doesn't... Let's see if I can... There you go. There we go. There's the sparkle. And I think it's so soft it's going to be a cowl. And then the other Daisy Knits thing I have to show you is a mammoth skein, which is in the same colourway as the yarn I showed you, the giveaway yarn. Obviously I love it, that's why I chose it. So, and this is the petal base, which is 50% baby alpaca, 30% merino, 20% silk, and you can see how it takes the colours differently. But look at the size of that, and that, oh, you can imagine how soft and warm it is. It's going to make a lovely comforting shawl. That's what I'm going to do with it. And that's 550 yards, so huge, great, enough to make a lovely size shawl. So I'm really, really looking forward to knitting with that as well. So as I said, a shawl and a cowl. I have been buying other yarn from the vendors at Edinburgh Yarn Festival and at Easy Knits, but I don't know where it is. The vendors at Easy Knits, the vendors at Edinburgh Yarn Festival. Sorry, going a bit crazy here. So that's sort of the knitting and spinning done with. It's Tour de Fleece starting on Saturday, which is the 4th of July. So I hope those of you who are in America have a good holiday then for the 4th of July. And so I'm looking forward to spinning. I'm going to be doing 15 minutes a day for Tour de Fleece. Hopefully I'll be able to do that. My leg's gone a bit funny, I don't know why. So I'm finding spinning on a double treadle thing a little bit tricky. But I have got my spindles. Well, again, if I can find them, otherwise I will make one. Try and do 15 minutes spinning a day for the 3 weeks that the Tour de France is on. And so now it's on to what would normally be the running. I've done a little bit, and the digging, which I said I'll do, which I will do next week and prepare for it properly, and then onto the random thing. So the cats are doing very well. They seem very happy and naughty, as cats are. And I have one website to recommend, which is very helpful if you're in a creative business like I am with the bags, or if you're a writer or anything like that. And if you want to find out more, she was interviewed on a Playful Day podcast, and she also has a podcast herself, which is called, I've written it down, but can I remember? I will tell you. Explore Your Enthusiasm. That's her. It's an audio podcast, and I recommend listening to it if you have, if you are creative as well. I find, because I'm now working, I have my things in a shop, and so I'm spending time with creative people. It's interesting to see how being creative can, it's easy to be distracted, especially when you've got lots of creative people around you, to see, lots of ideas are sparking off each other, and it's very hard. When I get home I find it hard to focus, so I'm finding this really helpful. And so the website is taraswiger.com, which is TARASWIGER.com, Tara Swiger, and she has a podcast and fantastic resources available for free, and also you can sign up for various levels of paid teaching sessions, for a year long to 6 months or shorter. I'm really enjoying it so far, and hopefully it will help me focus more. And I'm sorry, under a flight path. Yeah, it's probably going to get worse because it's the summer and more people go away. Oh well. Well, that's all for this week. I thought I'll just get this up and going. It's been great to talk to you, and I hope that you've enjoyed this, and I look forward to seeing your comments on this issue, and seeing which of the lovely Jen Daisy Knits yarns that you like most from her website, and I'll be doing the drawing for that next week. So in the meantime, have a great week, and I will see you next Tuesday Bye!